Hi everyone, my name is Colleen. Welcome to my channel today. Here on YouTube, I actually have two channels. So this video is actually going to be on both because these particular bags that I purchased, they're good for both types of crafting that I do. So I wanted everyone to be able to see what Della Q has to offer in their crafters, makers bags because they can be used for much more than just knitting and crochet, which is how they were first developed, but they're also good for other crafts as well, such as journaling. So I'll show you how I plan to use a few of these bags. If you're here from Alpaca My Yarn, thank you so much. This is a channel where I do most of my fiber crafts, whether that be crochet, Tunisian crochet, knitting, and sashiko. I know many of you new subscribers on Alpaca My Yarn are from my Sashiko tutorial. So welcome, and there will be more of those coming. Here on Two Tiny Treasures, it's more with journals and planners, and I have a great tote that I finally feel can really carry all my sketchbook stuff on the go, very light and easy. So I'm really excited to share that one for you. So if there's a specific topic or specific bag that you're wanting to fast forward to, I'm going to timestamp them below so that you can just skip forward to what appeals to you the most. So first of all, the story about Della Q. Della Q actually started as a different brand name, but when Jimmy Beans Wool acquired them in 2019, Della Q, or I want to say it's Della Quimby. It's actually named after the original maker, the original designer, and original owner. At that time, it had a different logo, different name. There was a little bit of controversy. So when Jimmy Beans Wool took over things, they rebranded the bags. So it's the same concept, the same bags, but with just the original maker's name and her name as a logo. So everything I own, the logos are the letter Q for her last name, and the inside liners are also the letter Q. So if any of you are wondering about those, about some of the changes, if you've been with Della Q for many years, those are some of the most recent changes as far as logos and hardware and the interior, even the interior liner of the bags. All right, so how I got introduced to Della Q was through the North Texas Yarn Crawl last year. And I'll admit, when I first saw this bag, I was not very thrilled. I thought at first, I was like, why are they going to a plastic bag? I hadn't felt it yet. I'd only seen it online. All the years past, we always had like a canvas tote that we could purchase for the yarn crawl. But I spent a week doing my yarn crawl with this very bag right here, and I grew to absolutely love it. I couldn't believe how much my viewpoint had changed by the end of that week. So first of all, you can see through it, so I could see everything that I had purchased. Secondly, it had this amazing wrist strap, which I will have to say this part changed, which I'm a little bit sad about because I really love the hardware. Let me show you the quality of the hardware on here. And then the snaps are absolutely amazing as well. You know how sometimes there's those plastic bags that you see snaps on and you're really careful about how you take the snaps off? You don't have to worry about that with this brand. This brand's snaps are so sturdy and so reinforced with the fabric that they sew into it that you do not have to worry about these snaps falling apart. The other benefit is later on that same year in September, I went to DFW Fiberfest and I saw a lot of projects with doodle cards and about doing more color work. And these bags are being promoted because you can bring your yarn, like I have two different colors of yarn in this bag, and you can use the snaps as dividers for your color work. So I just thought that was brilliant, and I came to love the O Snap bags by Della Q. So then this spring, I ended up back on their website because they released the cutest little bag in pink. So this one is called Petal. So everyone who knows me knows pink is like my favorite color of all time. And this bag is tiny but mighty. You'll see here the thing that did change is there's no longer that hardware here. But you can see the Della-Q logo right there. The snaps are still with the letter Q. And then you can use these handles and the whole thing pulls apart. So sturdy, so amazing. Every single side of this pouch has a pocket. So I thought this would be perfect because it'll hold those ChiaoGoo, the smaller ones, the shorties that I use for in the round. These will hold those really well. It'll hold any of my sock needles well. It also has a zipper pouch here on the inside that you can also use to zip up any notions or scissors and things like that. So the idea with this one is, yes, it can be used independently, like a wristlet, but I have my Trader Joe's totes. Right now, this is holding a whole sweater. So these totes are tiny but mighty. This thing fits perfectly in here. I already dumped everything out and tried it. So this sweater, I just have to finish a sleeve and a half on it. And then I'm converting it by putting this little bag inside of that Trader Joe's tote. So these O Snap bags, they come in, this season they released these in 3 different colors. The fluorescent yellow, highlighter yellow color is amazing. I may have to go back for that. That one actually may be called grass green. Maybe it's a fluorescent green. But anyway, all 3 colors that they released this spring are amazing. They also have a much bigger one, but I don't think I have a bag big enough to hold that one. So I really love this one. So now the rabbit hole of how all of this ended up happening. So for our anniversary this year in February, my husband and I went to a local yarn shop called Yarn and You here in the DFW area, and I saw one of the Della-Q mesh bags. I did not buy this bag there, but I kept kicking myself. I really regretted not getting it, but at the same time, more that I've thought about it, I'm actually glad I didn't get that one because the mesh bags by Della-Q are made in 2 sizes. They have this shorter version, which is really the perfect size for me, and then they have the tall version, which is the one she had in the shop. And I think that's why I didn't buy it right then and there, because on me, I'm 4'11", or according to my children, 4'11" and shrinking. So that bag felt a little tall for me personally, whereas this one is the perfect fit. If I were to use the handles on this, I could still use it on my shoulder, and it's just at my waist. So, and I can also use it, of course, in the crook of my arm, and that's fine as well. So what happened was I didn't buy it. I'd been watching it online. And I was like, oh, $85 is a little steep, maybe not. And then I saw the midi backpack in olive, and I love olive. If you've been on any of my channels, my very first traveler's notebook that I ever finally caved and purchased was the olive. My kitchen, even to this day, has olive or sage colors, always has. Our house that our kids grew up in, it was like a country French motif, so it was burgundy and olive. And then all of my clothes, when you take those tests as far as what color looks good on you, supposedly mine is called Deep Autumn, which is the yellow ochre, burgundy, olive, dark blue, royal blue, all the colors that Della-Q has their canvas bags made out of. So I think that's why I keep gravitating back to those bags, is they are the colors I normally wear. So it just makes sense that it would go well with my wardrobe. So now for the story about how this purchase ended up happening is, without getting political, there was all the tariffs craze and speculation as far as what was going to happen. And then yarn companies in particular were really having to be in the forefront of a lot of those issues because they don't typically stock a ton of items. These are usually private owners and the designers only make as much as their stockists or the yarn shops will actually be able to purchase to stock in their stores. So their supply ran out very quickly, and they were quickly realizing they were going to have to raise their prices. So that talk had been going on, and then a culmination of events happened in my personal life. So we've downsized, and I didn't buy any bags or anything like that over the past year because I had to see what I had and what room I already practically have and what kind of method is going to work for me in our new space. We're in that phase of our life. I don't know about you guys, but um, for everyone, it's different right now in this economy. For my husband and I, since we decided that we became empty nesters and approaching retirement age, we still have time, but approaching retirement age, we're trying to think of ways that we could simplify our life the most without kids, with zero debt, and to keep things that way. So we decided to completely downsize to a 1-bedroom condo. And we didn't know if it was going to work. I was a little stressed out when we first moved in. I was like, I don't know if I can do a 1-bedroom. Been in a 1-bedroom almost in forever. Because even when we first got married, we had a 1-bedroom with den. So squeezing down now after 2 kids into a 1-bedroom seemed like impossible. But, we evaluated our goals in wanting to volunteer more. We evaluated our goals in, okay, caring for aging parents. What is our time factor going to be like? How simple of a footprint do we want to have? We're not saying we'll never consider buying a house again. I imagine moving in old age is not a fun thing to do. But at this time in our life, especially if we hire movers, we're still young enough to do it. And so we decided to try it out. And surprisingly, we have actually loved it. So now I know where we're at, um, barring unforeseen circumstances, either with our parents or our children. This is where we want to stay for a while, if at all possible. We love our location, don't want to change that. So, I've been consolidating my crafts. You'll see my shelf here. I have 2 shelves that I can use for work and for crafts. And then I also have a shelf in my closet that's kind of tucked away in the middle of the closet. So that has been kind of housing my yarn. But because my yarn is hidden behind my coats that are hanging in that closet, I haven't really pulled it out. And it's kind of a pain to pull out this whole cubby and bag full of yarn, dig through it, and then put everything back. So ultimately, I decided for me in my current situation in life, the easier thing for me to be is to buy the yarn project by project. Don't overbuy, don't overstock, but buy yarn project by project and then put that project immediately into a project bag that I can take with me on the go in the car, or I can just set on the floor in the living room next to me. When guests come over, I can tuck the bag away into that spot in the closet. So all of that just started making sense and kind of coming into my head that I was planning to buy some Della Q bags. Well, then the tariff scare came. Then my husband volunteered one night for a project that needed volunteers for security. So he leaves at 2 a.m. I hear the door close. So now I'm wide awake. I'm one of those people that I have never lived alone a day in my life. I went from my parents to being married to having kids. So being home alone is not a fun thing for me. So I was wide awake at this point, not going to sleep. So I'm scrolling, another dangerous thing to do at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I see this very cute video by, I think it's Willie Knits on Instagram. I'll post his Instagram below. He's a family man with like 3 kids. His wife videos some of his videos. They're the cutest family to watch. And he owns everything Della Q in purple. And he gave us the warning, Della Q is having to up their prices mid-May. So if I was already cringing at the prices, then I know I was going to have a heart attack if prices went up any further. So I did a search on Della-Cute that very moment, and I happened to come across a website called fabyarns.com, and they have a sale going on. If you buy over $75, which almost all of the Della-Cute bags that I was looking at were over $75, you automatically got, I don't remember if it was 20 or 30% off at that time. And I think they still have a promotion going on. It's like, I think they take 20 off at this time. So it made the bags very affordable because they were still listing at the original list price. I think they've had some for quite some time because theirs were a little bit lower than some of the shops. And they had this incredible sale going on. So I was like, okay, now is the night to buy all the things. So that's what I did. All right, so the first one I filled my shopping cart with was the mesh bag, because this is the one that I had seen at Yarn and You that I loved. So let me hold this up so you can kind of see. There's the logo as well as the snaps. So you'll see the Q snaps here, and then there's the zipper. So everything is really nice, solid quality. And with it being all the snaps at the top, again, you can do color work from this one here. Inside, it also comes with an additional little O-Snaps type of bag. I'll show you the hardware on that one. The other side is waxed canvas, and then this side is mesh. So if I unsnap it, and again, you don't have to be careful with their snaps at all. And see, you can fit quite a bit of like your knitting needles and other notions and other things in this bag quite well. So absolutely cute, love it. The other thing that the mesh bags come with, which I can never get it out of here, so I'm going to have to hold it up. Included in the mesh bags that are not included in the others are the little scissors. Now, while I have this up here, I do want to show you something. If you purchased the other scissors in their accessories section, this case is very different from the case that comes in the mesh bags. So the olive case, the scissors fit completely into the olive case. So you can shove the scissors all the way down in there and then snap it shut. It's leather, wax canvas. It's actually leather on both sides. So the quality is incredible on these little guys. This one, it's more of canvas. It's canvas on the back instead of leather. You do have a piece of reinforced leather on the front, but the scissors, they do not go all the way into the sheath. You actually snap in between the scissors here. So the scissors actually don't go all the way down. They're only about in the middle section here. So if you have difficulty closing it at first, that's why. Don't put your scissors all the way in. You have to put this strap in between the two handles of those scissors in order for it to close properly for you. All right. It also comes with a crossbody strap, again with that hardware that I love so much that was on that original O-Snap bag that I have. They also have a couple of other things in here. It's a little bitty, all their bags come with a little bitty grid notebook like this. You can, jot down your knitting notes as you're going. And they also come with a thick and chunky darning needle as well. So it's super cute. It is a very thick one, and it's not a bent tip. So there's going to be certain projects that this is going to work for you, and certain ones maybe not as much, especially if you're using a finer yarn or a lace yarn. So for now, so I don't lose them, I'm just going to stick them in here. So those of you in the journaling community as well, I wanted to show this. This is the Love and Trip journal. And even though it's called red, it's really like a burgundy. And I found that it matches this bag perfectly. So I'll be using this as my knitting journal in here. There is this big zipper pouch on the front. So I'll show you when I stock it and everything, but this journal is going to be stored in this front zipper pocket, and it's going to be keeping all that fun stuff for me there. Why I chose this particular color is, oh my goodness, I forgot her name. There's another crochet channel on here. I will put it here and I'll show her picture here. She's actually one of the first videos that I ever watched about Della Q bags, and absolutely loved her little haul of her rucksack bag. And she had mentioned how she chose the red or the burgundy because it matched her Tunisian crochet set from Lantern Moon. I have that same set. So that got my brain thinking, this is the one that I want to use for Tunisian crochet. So this is going to be the bag for all things Tunisian crochet. Now to go with that, they also have these little cubbies. They come in a set of 2. And then again, you can see the little Della Q logo here at the bottom. And then when you open them, they have the little base. So this is what I was talking about. They've changed everything. So it is a Q with Della Q for the maker's original name. And the whole thing is just a beautiful little waxed canvas with a nice little cardboard insert. I think it's cardboard. I don't know if it's cardboard or plastic, but it's sturdy. And it goes into the bottom of the cubby like that. And you can either just put these out on your table. What I love about them is if I carry them in this go bag here, then I can either leave them in my bag as dividers, or when I get to where I'm going, I can take it out of my bag and stick it on the table. Like if I'm at a coffee shop or something, I can just have this little cubby out in front of me for convenience. So let me show you how these work. So that's it with one of the cubbies in there. You can see it takes up less than half of the bag. And it came with 2, so I'm going to go ahead and put both of these in here. You can see you have both of those in there. And then if I wanted to, my journal could even still fit here on the side, on the inside as well. So many options with this. I'm going to love using this in particular for my Tunisian crochet projects. And then you still have the option, even with those cubbies in there, it's almost like it forms a nice, it really fills the bag out nicely so that when you do close everything, it still has a very nice shape to it. And if you're doing color work, you can still have your color work come out the sides as well. See, my journal is in the side, and then it has my scissors. So this is so great. So now for the ones that I've really been watching. Back in September at Fiberfest, September 2024, I had bought this olive waxed canvas bag by Coletta Designs. Absolutely love how it feels. So I've been using it for a little over 6 months now, and I love the feel of this waxed canvas, and I love the olive. So when I saw that Della Q had a lot of olive products, I've been watching those for a long time. And again, because of that same video that I watched about the lady with the burgundy bag, hers was not just burgundy, but it was the rucksack. So I really loved the rucksack. And I also love the fact that just like the mesh bag, the rucksack can also hold the cubbies. So I did get a set of the olive cubbies. So the same thing, they are waxed canvas through and through. And then the logo on the inside and the bottom is the original maker's name, Della Q. One thing I wanted to let you know about wax canvas. So wax canvas wrinkles, and this is kind of the beauty of wax canvas. You get these lines in it. But if you're one that doesn't like the lines and you want a smoother look, All you have to do is this summer, leave your bag in the car for about an hour and they literally melt away. Now, I don't recommend always doing that because the whole point of having waxed canvas is that it makes it a little bit water resistant, not waterproof, but water resistant. And that will help protect your bag uh, it can help protect your bag from rain and water. You know, the concept of wax canvas came years ago when sailors used to apply different types of fats or oils to their sails. And then those yellow slickers, it was canvas that would turn yellow because of the type of oil that they were using. So that's kind of the concept behind wax canvas. So that's why it leaves like this other type of that's why it wrinkles, but it can also smooth out, you know, with a little bit of heat. So I like the wrinkled look. That's the whole purpose of the wax canvas that I like. So I just leave them as is. So this particular scissor I decided to purchase since the rucksack doesn't come with its own scissors. So this cover I actually like a lot better than the one that comes in the mesh tote. And that's because the whole scissor fits in there and it's actually more leather than it is canvas. So the whole back of it is leather, and then the scissors just go all the way in there. These are cute too. They also have Della-Q on them as well. So those go back in here and they fit all the way to the bottom of the sheath, and you can snap the whole thing shut. Has this nice piece of hardware that will clip to the inside of your bag or wherever you want it. All right. So these bags, the waxed canvas bags, come in a dust bag. And it has this amazing sturdy hardware. Okay, so this one, again, this line of bags that are in canvas, they're called their maker's bags. And this one is called Rucksack in the color olive. So those of you from my journaling community, again, these back pockets back here, I've already tried it. Traveler's Company notebooks, the full size fits in this pocket vertically. The whole passport size will fit in a pocket as well. So if you're a multi-crafter like me and you love to have a knitting journal, crochet journal, or just a journal to carry with you, maybe you want to carry two crafts. Maybe you want to take your journaling and you want to take your knitting or crochet with you. This bag, you can carry both. So in the front, it has this beautiful leather handle here and hardware. The zipper completely opens, so smooth. And then there's a big pocket right here in the front. Let me show you a close-up of this beautiful hardware. And then the rucksack snaps open. Even the sides snap open. They don't open all the way because this hardware does impede it from opening all the way. But I'll show you something that I've seen some of the other yarn stores demonstrate. It comes with this amazing cross strap, which I know I'll be using. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that now. The nice thing is it spins, so you can attach it either way. Crossbody. Inside of the rucksack does not have a liner. It's just strictly the canvas, but it does have a base. And again, this one says Della-Q. Wow, this bag is a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. I'm actually quite happy. It feels like a never-ending abyss. So it goes way down there. And on the inside, this piece is covered. You just slide it off. This is actually a yarn feeder. So you can wind your yarn through here, and it will hold your yarn in place so that you don't lose your yarn in the bottom of the bag. So it's really nice. They also have way down here is almost like a floss cutter, and that will cut your yarn. Now it is pretty deep in the bag. I guess me personally, I would have preferred if it were maybe closer up to the top or to the side, but I've already tested it and it's not super, super sharp. So I don't think you have to worry about stuffing your project in here, but I would be careful with it. I haven't heard too many complaints about it. But if I personally were to change something, I think I would rather have the extra pair of scissors like what I purchased, and just get rid of that particular feature, just because I don't want my yarn or my project in particular to get snagged on that, when I stuff my project back in here to go. So the little scissors, I'm going to just go ahead and clip onto the front. So I can take those little scissors with me. Actually, we could even, without harming the bag in any way, because the logo is stitched in on the inside, I think I'm actually going to take my seam ripper and I'm just going to rip that entire patch out so I don't have to worry about it at all. So it'll still say Delaque. Delaque will be on the front. It just won't be on that portion of my bag. So there's a suggestion. You could use your thread thingies. So what I've seen other women do with this at the shops is, because this bag is so deep, when they're at the shop, they've actually been putting the bag a little bit inside out like this. And then their yarn just comes out of the bag and the little yarn feeder is at the very top. So I really love that look. Makes it so convenient to take to the yarn store with them. So inside of the rucksack, I bought the 2 olive cubbies, and both of these fit in here. So they help add extra support, but also extra dividers, because the inside of the rucksack does not have any pockets at all. So in this one, in the rucksack, those cubbies fit perfectly, edge to edge, end to end. So it really shapes your bag very nicely, but also it provides extra little stash spots. So you have these 2 bins, you also have both sides of the bins, you have behind the bins. So it kind of creates pockets for you by adding those little cubbies into the bag. And then I can just roll it back up when I'm done. If I'm doing color work, I can use the snaps. Let me show you what it looks like all together like that. And then the 2 big pockets on the back. And like I said, you can fit a whole traveler's notebook filled with inserts into these back pockets. I've already tried it. I almost forgot something. Okay, I looked at the front and I realized something was missing. So these 2 holes here, you can either use to run your yarn through them, or better yet, they come with some additional accessories in this front pocket. So all their bags come with the little grid notebook and a darning needle. But this particular bag with those holes, it comes with a shawl pin. And the shawl pin also has stitch markers with their original logo on it, which is a lotus flower. So there you can add the stitch markers, or you can add any other stitch markers that you have to that shawl pin to make it easier for you to work on your projects. And you also have your scissors right there. And so it just makes it very convenient to carry your project. And then of course this zips up very easily as well. I would imagine a passport notebook fits in this front pouch very easily as well. So many options to be able to carry your patterns or your pattern notes, or say you like field notes. I think this would look really cute with like some field notes from, oh, what is it called? The Field Notes notebook series has notebooks that are series from all the national parks. They also have birds, a lot of different things with nature, and those would look really good with this bag as well. And I could see that someone who loves to do journaling could also use this bag for so many things, to carry different supplies as a field bag on the go as well. All right, so we're down to the last bag. This one is also in a dust bag. It is another waxed canvas bag as well. This one is called the Midi Backpack. And this one, I must say, is a dream size for me. I don't know what you want to call me other than short, petite, whatever, but regular backpacks are so big on me. And especially when you start adding stuff to them, they just get so heavy. This bag, surprisingly, is lighter than the rucksack. This bag, even without the cubbies, I need to weigh them. But this one, to me, I think because of the hardware, is much heavier than this one. So this one, I've decided not to use it so much for crochet and knitting, but this is going to be my travel art kit bag. And I'll show another video when I'm loading it, but just to give you a few little pointers for those of you that may be looking for an art journal bag on the go, is the pockets in the front hold some of those little smaller watercolor pencil kits by Uni. I guess in America they may call them Uni, but we call them Uni in Japan. And so those watercolor pencil sets fit here. They also fit in this back pocket back here, or your phone can fit back here very easily. The front pocket, I'm not so sure about. Maybe your driver's license, your ID, those very small personal documents, you can put right there. What really impressed me are these side pockets. Don't look like much, but the small tins, the ones that come with like 12 pans, the ones that hold half pans, fit in these side pockets. So there's two side pockets. I was able to fit one in here that I've modified. Again, I'll show that in a video. The short one will fit as well as the tall one. The tall one, of course, will stick out a little bit more, but both of those types of tins will fit, and you have two pockets for those. Or like on one, you could hold your palette, your paint palette on one side, or you can have a gouache palette on one side and a watercolor palette on the other side. So just really great options. And this handle is all leather. So let me take this off of here. You can see beautiful leather handle. Show you the hardware a little bit better. And then the bottom has feet. Super cute. So this opens up and the snaps open on the sides, so you're able to open this bag nice and wide as well. So I already tried it. A traveler's notebook fits very easily way down here. This will hold really large sketchbooks as well, including the tall ones. So A5 size is usually the biggest that I personally go, but if you have larger sketchbooks, they'll definitely fit in here for sure. Any of the Moleskine notebooks, any of those will fit fine. So just like the other canvas bag I had, this one comes with some items as well. All their bags come with the little grid notebook, comes with the little Delicue darning needle. These are pretty thick, so it's definitely for thicker yarns. And it comes with the shawl pin with the little stitch markers as well. So that can go here in the front. Inside, what's really cool is that there are pockets in this one. So again, the logo on the inside is Della Q, and then it has a big zipper. This pocket on the inside, if you want to carry your wallet or whatever, it's very large. It has the little yarn threader as well if you're using it for knitting and crochet. And then in here, you could again put a watercolor palette, gouache palette, could put paint brushes, or you could put in crochet and knitting, you can put extra hooks and needles, field size notebook. All of that would fit so well here on the inside. Let me see if I can give you a better shot. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 slots that you could use either for paintbrushes, pens, pencils, crochet hooks, knitting needles. Any of those items would fit well. This little pocket as well, you could do your circular cables for your interchangeable needles if you're wanting to as well. And then the back, so this snaps on the front. It's a magnetic snap closure, so it snaps very easily. And then the back has these amazing straps as well. Those are the Della Q bags that I've purchased. Now, as of the recording of this video, Fab Yarns still had a discount going if you buy more than $75 on their website. All the other websites that I have seen have already gone up on their price for the Della Q bags. So I'm really glad that I did panic buy and get them. It was not a bluff. They really did have to go up on their prices, and I'm sure they'll try to reduce them if they can in the future if things change. But it was not a bluff. They did go up, I want to say on average about $20 to $25 per bag. So yeah, it made a difference. So I'm glad I grabbed them when I did. I love all of them. Looking forward to using them for all the crafting things. I hope you enjoy them as much. If you do, please tell me what bags you like or which ones you're planning to get in the future as well. How long have you been with Della Q? If you've had her bags since before they were with Jimmy Bean's Wool and all of that. We'll see what the changes bring for Della Q's bags this year. But I've really enjoyed using them. Those O-Snap, they're still super affordable. They're usually under $30. I think they still are. So if you're looking for an affordable, compact one that you could really stick into any tote that you already have, check out the O-Snap bags. You'll really love them. That's where I started. Right, so feel free to check out my links below. Some of them may be affiliate links that would pay me a small commission if you decide to choose to use them, or just click on them alone without purchasing. Even that makes a difference and can possibly earn small commissions for me to support this channel. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please also give it a thumbs up. Give me a comment below. Let me know what bags you love from Della Q and what you want to use, and I'll see you on the next one.